Let me give you a quick intro into this longer podcast. You see, I know in personal development we want to make every day a little bit better, don't we? Strive to be a better us. But the thing is, sometimes it seems easy, it sounds easy, it feels easy, but we don't do it. So we need some hows, some how-tos. And that's what we're going to get into this longer podcast. So please come and join me and see what golden nuggets you can pick up and run with. Okay? So have a listen after this. Hey, this is the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, where we use hypnosis. Yeah, hypnosis. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Don't worry what it is. It's just a mass of processes that we're going to get you to change. Change to let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, and create massive supreme inner confidence. But that's confidence in your competence and competence in your confidence, which means you can do anything and be safe, to enjoy the world as it should be, with you at the helm, creating the life that you want. That's what this podcast is about. You and being the best you could be, singing from your real voice, aligned with your mission, aligned with your passions. That's what it's about. So if you're interested in letting go of anxiety, if you're interested in letting go of fear, guilt, all those blooming syndromes, imposter syndromes, and every little bit of the mind which is negative, then have a listen here, because we've got some wonderful processes and lots of good conversations between you and me to get us both thinking in such wonderful ways. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just take the chance to have a listen.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey, how we doing? Gonna have a little chat today, I think. Just a little chat about getting better. Getting better every day. You see, there's that blooming chant that people say, in every way, in every day, I'm getting better and better and better and better. And that's like, well, I've talked about affirmations before, how much a lot of what I think are the old-fashioned affirmations just don't work, and you have to search that out on one of the older, longer podcasts. I don't know what hash number it is, but it's not too long ago, maybe 6 months ago. And I do think when you just say to yourself, in every way and every day, I'm getting better and better and better, it's BS, because it doesn't mean anything. It's so unspecific. It's so general. Every way. What? How can you get better in every way? And you're just getting better. What does better mean? In NLP, there are times to be general, abstract. But when we're talking about goals, when we're talking about our desires, our dreams, it's better to get more specific. And when we get specific and we get those goals, I know what happens. They will then generalize. They will. So what is this thing called personal development? See, I believe it means something like this. Striving to be the best version of ourselves. So my personal development is me striving to be the best version of me. Learning how to be the best version of me. And it's not a long-term goal, what it is, but it's also short-term. It's today. Today, I want to strive to be the best version of myself, and I want to learn how to make it even better. So it's not sometime soon. It's right now. And I hope, my aim is, if I can strive to be the best person I am today, tomorrow I can get a little bit better. Each time. And each time it's that little bit more by living today. So I'm achieving things today. So you have that intention to, and I always put strive. I don't want to be trying, because if you try things, sometimes they work so, but strive means I'm definitely going to do it. It just means I'm going to stretch myself. And that's positive, isn't it? I'm going to stretch myself, stretch my boundaries. And as I do that, I know, not only in that specific area of my day and my personal development, but in other areas, they'll grow too. I'll talk about that in a moment. You see, to me, it's like finding the right path to grow. And there's that path to be the best version of yourself. But also, think of that best version of yourself maybe divided up into different contexts of your life. You know, your life that you're living right now, some people would call them roles. They're sort of roles. Some people, I've got this hat on, but I don't go there, I think. But I like to look at the different areas of my life, and sometimes I call them wheels and spokes, the wheels being the area of your life and the spokes being what is made up, like the submodalities of the modality. That's NLP terms. But if you think of one of the wheels, maybe work and career, the spokes in that would be the different areas within that context of work and career. And you've got so many of them, haven't you? You've got work, career maybe. You've got relationships, and those relationships could be, like one-to-one romantic. That's that one relationship, that special one. You've got your relationship with your family, direct family, your larger context of family. You've got relationships with other people, just people. You've got things like your health. Now, you think of your health, what are the spokes within your health? You've got like diet, fitness, looking at your mental health, different areas within an area, within a context. You've got things like your hobbies. So I treat that as a wheel as well, because I think sometimes we have more than one hobby, and there's different areas within that hobby that we need to get better at. So we need to break them down into, each time we're going to another level of specificity. That's a lovely word, isn't it? Specificity. And you've also got things like maybe hinged to relationships, but your social life, how you interact and communicate with other people. And I'm sure there's loads more. You can go on as long as you like, but I like to keep as not too many, because the thing is, when you have this thing about I'm going to get better in every way, better, and without a particular concept or a particular area and goal in mind, it just gets, I think it leads to overwhelm, doesn't it? Because we can't put our finger, our hand, we can't hold, it doesn't resonate when we've got too many things going on. That may lead to anxiety. And that anxiety then turns into a fear. What does fear do? It tends to freeze us, doesn't it? So we don't get anything going. And then sometimes, because of all of that fear, we can then turn into anger, frustration, angry at ourselves, maybe angry at other people that we think are stopping us getting to move on. But all this generalization could lead to all of that. So when we generalize, I'm just getting better and better with no how, no direction, no steps. Overwhelm, anxiety, fear, anger, maybe even regret. Regret not doing things. You can fill in the blank. Anything you may be feeling which is a negative emotion, probably attached to that is a negative belief, could all come out of this thing that's too general. Because when we look to specificity, we can then decide what's the most important at that one time. So we look at our day. Well, before we just jump into that, let's just think of a few hows. Hows in what can we do to break down that generality, just getting better and better, just haphazardly, randomly trying to work on that. And to make sure then we can minimize, because we maybe can't take it all out, because sometimes a little bit of anxiety can be good. There's a positive intention for anxiety to make sure that we're aware of what things could happen. So we make sure and mitigate that they don't happen. And if we don't think about them, we can go blindly into areas of problem. But then when it turns to fear, and then we get anger and frustration, regret, then it's just spiraled out of control. So let's look at a few hows. How can we personalize this striving every day to be the best version of ourselves, to find our unique voice, as it were? Well, we need to come back to the basics. The basics of personal development, I think, is setting your intention. And I know we might set our intention who we'd like to be, as in our true self, our ultimate vision of ourself as we would like to be. But I think we need to look at the day that we're going through, and actually set our intention daily, reset it, re-remember, as it were. And I think there are some people who say that's not a word, because you either remember, because can you re-remember something? But I like the word re-remember. So I think we can remind ourselves with one set of intentions, the bigger picture, which is, again, a bit more abstract, a bit more general, which is I strive to be the best version of myself today. And in doing that, what is going to happen today? Because there are some things in your day you know you're going to do. You've got a diary, you've got to meet people, you've got to do this. Maybe there's some skills there you could develop meeting those people at work or whatever you're doing. Or maybe you're working on your health, maybe going to the gym. Maybe you are meeting somebody, just a relationship. Maybe you're doing hobby. So any of those areas, any of those wheels that you're going to be dealing with today, you look at each one and go, well, what's the most important thing for me in that area of my life that I'm going to be doing today? And if I could strive to be better, in what area would that be within that area? If that makes sense, the spoke within the wheel. And just think about it. What would I have to do? What would I have to maybe complete? What would I have to bring to the table? What resources? It's a little bit saying, what skills would I like to use even more better? That's another great word, isn't it? More better. That would help me be. What would the best version of myself be? In other words, what skills would that best version have that I want to strive to be? And you see, you might say, well, hang on a minute, Paul. I've got 3 things to do today. Now, have I got to do it each time? Well, ideally, yes. But if that is overwhelming, and I understand that, because we have to build this habit of setting intention, knowing what skills, because we're getting our unconscious mind to remember the skills that we have, to bring them to the table, as it were. So we're telling our unconscious mind what we want to be, to strive to be the best version of ourselves. So if it's too big, too overwhelming to think of more than one, and that's understandable, then pick the best one. And you just look at your day and go, in this day, what is the one thing, one area that if I got to strive and striven to be the best version of myself in that area, which one would make the most difference in my life? Which one is the most important? And when you get that, then just visualize yourself being that best version in that one context, in that one thing you're doing today. Because you see, when you do that, and it doesn't take long, you don't even need to close your eyes. But I think, to be fair, I think when we do close our eyes, we just take away the distractions of the world outside. And when we go inside, I think somehow we get a deeper connection with our unconscious mind, because all those distractions are gone. And very quickly, just visualize how you want to be. Maybe see yourself over there. We've done it before in so many of these episodes. See yourself over there, not striving, but being the best version of yourself you can imagine being, and go well over the top, because you'll never be able to imagine how good you could be. So however good you imagine it, I just know you can be more than that, because whatever you think you are, you're always more. So just imagine very quickly in that scenario that you'll be doing that day. See yourself over there doing it to your ultimate version of yourself, the best version of yourself that you'd be really pleased with. And maybe just imagine dropping into that body of yours and seeing what you'll see, hearing what you'll hear, and just feeling that the physicality and also feeling the emotion of being this best version. And then just let it go. And that's the most important thing. It's letting go and just saying to yourself, I wonder what it would be like to be like this. I wonder what it would be like today in this thing that I've got to do to be like that. You see, that question alone, when you just let it go, gives your unconscious mind, not a dilemma, but gives it a thing to go, oh, how can I show them what it would be like? Well, I could sort of show them in another visualization, but why don't I show them in real life? And what tends to happen is you then go into that event that becomes a now from the future into the now today. And your unconscious mind will automatically, unconsciously bring the skills that you thought about. And then all you've got to do is review it. You see, that's the thing. We also have to review. Because if you don't review, a couple of things happen. One is, if you review it and it was exactly the way you wanted it, then you can say to yourself with gratitude, I enjoyed that. That was so good. And now you've got another, like a personal best that you can beat. Your baseline has just gone up a few notches. So you know that you can imagine something more, even more better next time. But if it wasn't quite the way you wanted, maybe something happened, maybe it blindsided you. What can I learn from this is the thing to do. What can I learn to add to what I thought so I can really strive next time to be the best version of myself? So you see, well, how do I choose sometimes? How do I choose these areas, you might say? Because I've got to think of the things I'm doing today, but where do they, because I want you to do a little bit of pre-work on that. And I just want you to imagine a few, call them the wheels, the areas of your life you'd like to change. We can go into this a lot more deeper in another episode. You see, when you choose that, and maybe even you could do at the beginning of the week, when you're looking at your diary, the things you're going to do, you can see each day the one thing that if you did it to your best, your ultimate best, better than you thought, better than you can dream of now, what it would be like. You're already, just think about, well, what area of my life would that excel in? What would it do? You see, the way I get it is, when you start doing all of this, one is now we're setting our goals, beginning of the week maybe, then we're doing them on the day, then we're reviewing them. And what happens is, if you can imagine a circle, and this is call it your comfort zone, which I think is an absolutely toss way of talking about your comfort zone. It's actually a familiar zone, because sometimes our comfort zone is not the most comfortable place, but we're bloody familiar with it. But the thing is, when you go beyond that self-imposed boundary, because it's an invisible boundary, you're the only one who puts it there, and you strive to be your best in that one area, in that one thing, on that day, and you go beyond that boundary doesn't just go out a little bit to meet that little bit. The whole boundary, imagine the whole circumference of that circle getting bigger and bigger. So what happens is the confidence you get by excelling in that one area in that day will, like a ripple, spread to other areas. So when you get more comfortable, you get more confident, more competent in one area, you take those into other areas of your life without even knowing. And that's why it's so important, I believe, to do this. So you really look at today. What one thing today that I've got to do and I want to do, if I was better than I can imagine, what would that be like? What would my ultimate vision of myself be? Imagine it, do it. And then when you review it, because even in that reviewing, you're re-remembering how well it went. And you're telling your unconscious mind how well it went. And you're telling your unconscious mind to expand that area of familiar zone. And then you can start to think, well, if I can do all of that, what else can I do tomorrow, the next day, next week? So when you plan your week out, you can start to go with confidence, because confidence just comes from the intention. You do get confidence from what you've already done, but you go into an event with confidence when you have the intention to do something at a particular level. And if your intention is to do it to your very best, then you have to have confidence in yourself just to think it. And when you do all of that, you'll actually be doing the thing that I said that I didn't particularly like, because in every day, every way, you will be getting better and better. But you won't be because of that old blooming way of talking. It'll be because you're directing your life. You'll be choosing the way you want to be, choosing your successes, wallowing in the feeling of success and wondering how much better it can be. And that's the way I believe personal development just gets better and better. And it becomes fun. Because if you think about it, you're imagining being your best version of yourself, which is going to feel bloody good. And then when you do the work, you're going to be the best version of yourself. So that's going to be bloody good. And when you review it, you're going to notice how well it was. So that'll feel bloody good. So you are hitting that feeling of the, call it the wish fulfilled, with your unconscious mind, which is over and over again, giving it the message. This or something better. How can I learn from this? What can I do even more next time? Yeah. I hope, as always, that I didn't ramble on too much, and I hope that I did make some sense. I know it'll work, because it always does. And I know when you set your intention, because that's the reason you're here, you're listening to learn to be better, to be the best version of yourself, and I know you can. I've got every confidence in you. And my intention is to help you, to support you, and do everything you want. So if I have, please do email me at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Tell me of your successes. I love to hear successes. Tell me if there's anything that you may need help with on this, because we'll do another episode. I'm happy to do so many episodes around the same thing, because we'll always do them slightly different. And the more detailed we get and the better we get, the more varied options we get, we'll all just get better. The ripples of those changes will go farther and wider than we can ever think. So please let me know. Give me the feedback. And if there's something that you didn't understand and I should have done better, communicated better, please let me know. Because I just want to improve every day. I'm doing this thing. I want to be my ultimate best version of myself on this podcast, let alone everything else. This is one of mine, my wheels. And I just want to get better at it, sharing what I know and inspiring you to do the same. And then let me know. So if you would, feedback at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. That would be absolutely awesome. There you go. If you could, if you found this of interest, it would be great if you could share it with, well, one person, maybe two, but let's stretch 5. But if you really want, no, 5 would do, because that would be awesome. Just a little share, because share it verbally, because once you share it verbally, you'll get to learn it even more, and then say where it came from, so people could do even more. And we just have more fun than we can stand. So please do that. Oh, press that subscribe. I can't even say it. The old subscribe button. Let's get so many people subscribing now, so we can have so much good fun and so much, well, bettering of ourselves and enjoying the life that we live, because this may be the only one we've got. Maybe. And if it is, let's make today special. So when tomorrow becomes today, we can make that one even more special. And as we do that, we know we can fly, because it's time to fly. So until next time, my friends, my friend, you, thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Have more fun than you can stand. Bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.